The year is 2015. Actor Jared Leto is riding high on the wave of his first Oscar win for his performance in the awards-laden film Dallas Buyers Club, and has just been cast as the Joker in the Suicide Squad. Leto is a method actor, and as such, to get into character, he sends his fellow cast members a butchered pig, and during production, he sends them anal beads, used condoms, and live rats. Will Smith, much to his dismay, receives an envelope full of bullets. This may seem like the most extreme case of actors taking their craft too seriously, to the point where it harms other people. But there are worse, and in this video we're going to explore some of the most extreme cases of actors going too far for the love of their craft.
I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Up yours, you son of a bitch! You don't talk to me that way! Get out of here!
The idea of method acting was first conceived in the 1900s by Russian theatre practitioner Konstantin Stanislavski, and then evolved by Americans Lee Strasberg and Stella Adler. You may recognize Lee Strasberg from this film.
The 2 million never got to the island.
Method acting is a technique that performers employ to empathize with the characters they are portraying. And in this technique, the actor becomes the character and frequently remains in the role for long periods. Some actors over the years who are considered methods are and have been Marlon Brando, James Dean, Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, Jeremy Strong, Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, Daniel Day-Lewis, Al Pacino, and many others. And with some of the iconic names on that list, it should come to you of no surprise, Shia LaBeouf is an actor who takes his craft very seriously. He's had many incidents during his career where he's committed various acting sins that have often crossed the line between method acting and unprofessionalism, including dropping acid for Charlie Countryman, being fully drunk every day on the set of Lawless, where he plays an illegal alcohol purveyor, leading to he and Tom Hardy coming to blow on set.
But probably being around Hardy. Hardy's a bit of a gorilla on the set.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, probably. I was most intimidated by him.
To land the role in Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac, he submitted his own self-tape. But maybe the craziest thing he did was on the set of 2014's Fury, the World War II film starring Brad Pitt. LaBeouf went as far as to pull his own tooth, and worse than that, he didn't shower for weeks on end, forcing the normally laid-back Pitt to confront him about his terrible hygiene. Hell, he even method acted a light-hearted Zoom read of the 80s classic comedy Fast Times at Ridgemont High during the 2020 pandemic. He's obviously very high on drugs, and look at Ray Liotta's face as he method acts a Zoom reading.
Yeah, but something happened to him. Just come on. Just come. Can you just come on?
Next up is one of the most extreme cases of method acting ever. Before The Pianist, Adrian Brody was a writer star in Hollywood. The film tells the true story of a pianist who spent 2 years hiding in the ghetto of Warsaw during the Nazi occupation of Poland during World War II. In order to prepare for the role, he practiced piano for 2 hours every day and lost weight. Pretty standard stuff so far, right? Well, then he also broke up with his then girlfriend, sold his possessions, and gave up his apartment.
And then I learned to play Chopin. I don't know how to read piano, but I put my stuff in storage. I moved out of my apartment, and I sold my car, and I disconnected my cell phone, and I did all these crazy things to have a sense of not knowing what I was going to go home to, and just purely focus on that.
This is Jessica Jason Lee. She is a method actor. She attended acting workshops taught by the aforementioned Lee Strasberg, and she has put in some really intense performances over the years, including her iconic performance in Single White Female. But it's actually another actor in this scene that we're going to talk about, because this actor did this, and by doing so, he mistakenly smashed a 145-year-old guitar on loan from a museum, costing the production of The Hateful Eight $40,000. Method actor Lee's expression says it all. Even she is like, "That's method acting gone too far, sir," as she looks over at what most likely is Quentin Tarantino, the film's director, in pure amazement. And sticking with Tarantino, it seems like actors just want to do their absolute best to impress the notoriously demanding cinephile that is Tarantino. Leonardo DiCaprio's first time working with the director had him even shedding blood for the role, as he takes this scene too far and smashes a glass with his hand, only then to smear the blood from his bleeding hand on the face of co-star Kerry Washington. Now this was back in 2000 2012, and DiCaprio was still trying his utmost to win his first ever Oscar. And he probably deserved it for his depiction of Jordan Belfort in the film The Wolf of Wall Street, where he consistently pushes the mark between acting and method acting. But he didn't get one. So in 2015, when he did the film The Revenant, he went full on method. He camped out in the wilderness, he slept in an animal carcass, ate raw bison, and went for regular swims in frozen rivers. A monumental feat for a film which didn't quite deserve it, but did win him his first Oscar. However, it is not a trial that he will endure again.
Would you go through that again, if asked?
I don't know if I'd go through this one again.
Right.
Maybe something different, but this was, I'd love to work with him again. I'd love to do a film, you know, in the wilderness again, but this particular experience was a pretty memorable, profound, difficult one.
Another actor who was desperate to win his first Oscar and also went method, however this time it wasn't to detriment of his own health but to that of his co-stars, is Dustin Hoffman. Hoffman had been nominated 3 times for an Oscar: The Graduate, Midnight Cowboy, and Lenny, winning 0 times. So when it came to Kramer versus Kramer, he decided to go all out. The 1979 film, which shows the psychology and the physical ramifications of the breakdown of a marriage, also starred Mel Streep. Now 3 years prior to this, another co-star of Hoffman's, the legendary British actor Sir Laurence Olivier, an actor very much on the opposite scale of method acting, ridiculed Hoffman. Both starred in the film Marathon Man, a film where Hoffman plays a constantly distressed character. And to get into character, Hoffman would run and run just before a take. The legend has it that upon seeing the actor out of breath before a take, Olivia said, "My dear boy, why don't you just try acting?" And if only he had taken this advice for his performance in Kramer versus Kramer, because he completely overstepped the mark before a take. To get Mel Streep riled up for an argumentative scene they were about to do, Hoffman taunted Streep about her recently deceased actor boyfriend, John Calzaghe, and slapped her in the face right before the scene. Completely inexcusable behavior from the Oscar-winning actor.
How was that? How was it working with Dustin? How was making that movie?
Oh, it was good, but it was weird because almost in one of the very first scenes, it's when I'm leaving, and we were shooting the scene, and I was properly upset, I thought, and I was getting my stuff together and walked out in the hallway, and he looked at me and he slapped me as hard as he could.
Who? Dustin?
Dustin.
What the?
Yeah, and you can see it in the film. There's a big big hand mark. I was so kind of shocked, but it set me up for the right feeling for him.
The film saw the pair both win their first Oscars, but was it really worth it? If you ask Nicolas Cage if it's really worth it, he'll probably say yes. The method actor is notorious for his wild performances.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes!
But his performance in Leaving Las Vegas, playing a real-life author and alcoholic, John O'Brien, won him his only Oscar to date. Cage did research by binge drinking in Dublin for 2 weeks and had a friend videotape it so he could study his speech. He also visited hospitalized chronic alcoholics. It's the best performance in a career full of wildly inconsistent performances. However, a younger 22-year-old Nicolas Cage went even more method in the film Vampire's Kiss. Firstly, he did the film for no money, according to Cage, which actually isn't method, it's just stupid. The method element comes into play when instead of swallowing a raw egg as per script, he decided to swallow something else. Cage, whose greatest fear was cockroaches, insisted upon eating one of those instead, alive. And all of this from Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, which nicely brings us onto 2 actors from The Godfather 2, who are 2 of the most legendary method actors ever, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Many remember these 2 method actors from this iconic scene in the film Heat. The 2 titans shared the screen for the first time in cinema history. But it wasn't the first time the 2 actors were in the same film. In the aforementioned The Godfather 2, De Niro plays Pacino's dad in flashback scenes, and to do so, he learned Sicilian for the film. This was one of De Niro's first ever screen performances. For one of his next performances in the Martin Scorsese feature Taxi Driver, he lost 35 pounds in order to play the troubled Travis Bickle, and he obtained taxi driving license. He even embarked upon real shifts in New York. However, maybe the most extreme case of De Niro taking things to the max was when he played real-life boxer Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. Ever the perfectionist, he trained to become a boxer so intensely that it's said that he could have become an actual middleweight boxer. He was that good. But the real extreme came about when De Niro insisted production stop for a few months, just so that he can put on 60 pounds to play an older version of LaMotta. And as per Cage, Hoffman, and DiCaprio, he won his first Best Actor Oscar for this role. And the Academy must love a weight gain, because Charlize Theron won her first and only Oscar for her performance in Monster back in 2003, where she piled on the pounds. And back to Pacino, who won his first ever Oscar by also going to the extreme. On many occasions, the Godfather actor had been nominated but never won, which, as voiced by many at the time, was a shambles. I mean, this man is the Godfather. But he wasn't about to get shunned again. So when he took on the role of blind army vet Frank in Scent of a Woman, he was not going to let the opportunity pass him by. Pacino, upon getting the role, began to live like he actually lost his sight, even seeking advice and training from a school for the blind. He even asked crew and cast to treat him as if he was blind on and off camera, walking around with a cane and not looking people in the eye. It worked, and Pacino won his first Oscar in a year in which Denzel Washington should have really won for his performance in Malcolm X. But that's another story. So, Pacino won his Oscar for playing a blind old man, but Korean actor Cho Mun-sik didn't win an Oscar for his performance in Old Boy.
Do you see what I did there?
Yeah. But he certainly got heads turning when, in a now infamous scene, he ate a live octopus on camera in one take. Now, personally, self-sacrificing for your art can be seen as a noble act, but when others, including animals, are sacrificing for your art, it steps over the line. And Christian Bale did so when he famously had a rant at cinematographer Shane Hurlbut.
I want you off the fucking set, you prick! No, don't just be sorry. Think for one fucking second. The fuck are you doing? Are you professional or not? Yes, I am. Do I fucking walk around and rip that? No, shut the fuck up, Bruce.
Totally not cool. But Bell has sometimes gone to extremes when it comes to his own personal health, slimming down to almost bare bones for The Machinist, and then bulking up again for Batman Begins, before slimming down again for his best performance to date in The Fighter, where he also won his first Oscar. You know, someone needs to have a word with his Academy Awards people. It's, the slimming up and down thing, it's not cool. It really isn't. Then gained weight for American Hustle, before losing it again for The Hostiles. And it didn't stop there, as he bulked up again to play Dick Cheney in Well, Dick, before again slimming down significantly to then play Ken Miles in the brilliant Ford versus Ferrari.
Do you need the weight gain and the prosthetics before you fully feel in character, or would it be there without?
I certainly felt like I did need that. I also wanted that there's a section in the middle where I'm more free of any suits or anything, where it is kind of the pivot point of the weight that I got to.
Sure.
I thought that I did. I'm not so sure now. There's two reasons. One is my own health. I don't think I can keep doing this.
Right.
But also, I gave a call to somebody who's always been a great inspiration to me, to Gary Oldman, and I knew he had played Winston Churchill. And I asked him the question. I said, well, how many pounds did you gain for that? And he said, no, I didn't gain any weight. And I went, no, you don't understand it. And by that time, I was already like 25 pounds heavier and still going, still chomping like a sumo wrestler. And he said, no, Christian, I didn't gain a pound. So I went, oh, man. Well, I'm already down this path. But it does appear as though prosthetics have come such a long way that it can be achieved without that yet. But I didn't know that, and I'm stubborn, and I felt like I really had to achieve it, at least partially.
But of all the strange method things that Bell has done, him staying in character accent for the Batman press tours was maybe the strangest.
And you can't play the character, you know? I mean, he has to personify all of his demons, all of his rage when you put on that bat suit.
This is his real accent.
Of that, it's allowed me to play significantly more roles than I ever would have.
But, you know, Christian Bale's actually Welsh, so at this point, who actually knows what his accent is? And whilst Christian Bale is maybe the best Batman ever, one thing for certain is that Batman needs a nemesis. And the perfect nemesis is the Joker. Now, there are rumors that Heath Ledger was so in character on the set of The Dark Knight that he would just be the Joker on and off set, absolutely consumed by the role and taken to dark places. However, this was debunked by co-star Michael J. White.
You talk about him having so much fun with it, but also being so deep into it. And obviously there's been a lot of talk about, after he did pass away, how much effect this character had on him. What do you think about that?
That drives me up a wall. Because people want to write the story that this dark character consumed him. Drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
That's people's imagination. That's the story they want to, no.
You didn't see that. You just saw a dude having fun.
No, this dude had fun. And cut. So anyway, it was just like that. And you could see his playful character. Because that thing with the when he comes out of the examination room and he does the hand sanitizer, he's playing. He just did that for a goof. Or the thing when he's...
I was going to say, even when he couldn't start the detonator.
He's having a ball. And the truth of the matter is, he passed away when he was doing Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. It wasn't even this movie. Right. You know how much longer that was?
Joaquin Phoenix, who many thought was also consumed by the role of the Joker, was also pretty chill, according to many on set. But then we come full circle to this guy.
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Did you get one?
Yes, I got so many weird things. I can't even begin to tell you the weird things I got.
What did you think?
I mean, by that point, I kind of felt like I knew the Joker a bit, so it wasn't as alarming. But there were many instances where I didn't know what to expect with Jared.
I got a number of gifts from Jared.
Okay, what he's
which I don't like to talk about. Because
you tell me he sent people used condoms.
Yeah, he sent used condoms and sticky Playboy magazines. I mean, it just weren't right. If you're going to have that kind of party, at least invite the croc. And the dead pig. Yeah, but that was a good gift. You know why? Because it had the effect of unifying us as a group, because then it became us against him, and we sent the messenger back with the dead pig with our own personalized message. So it got the ball rolling.
Now, thankfully, it seems like the cast took Jared Leto's method acting pranks to good heart. Now, that's what they say on the press tours, but if that was me who was doing it too, However, as I said, when a method actor goes across the line and infringes on the personal space or safety of a co-star like Hoffman did with Streep, or crew member,
no! Don't shut me up!
like Bale did with DP Shane Hulbert, that is a step too far. And conversely, when they go too far with themselves, it could lead to dangerous results. Succession actor Jeremy Strong is a hardcore method performer, so much so that his co-stars became concerned for his well-being. Brian Cox even commenting, the results that Jeremy gets are always pretty tremendous. I just worry about what he does to himself. I worry about the crises he puts himself through in order to prepare. So the big question remains, is it worth it? Listen, I know there's one actor that you really want me to talk about. You're screaming at the screen. You're saying, you better talk about this person. You better talk about this person. Well, don't worry. I'm going to talk about that person right now. Amy Schumer is one of the best method actors in the history of film. In preparation for her role in... don't worry, I'm with you. Daniel Day-Lewis has 3 Oscar wins. He is currently tied with Jack Nicholson for the most Oscar wins by a male actor. He is now retired, again, after putting everything on the line. And he was certainly the archetype of a method actor. For each of his roles, he went to the absolute extreme. Whether it be only eating food he could catch and kill by himself in The Last of the Mohicans, or going around in a wheelchair and demanding to be spoon-fed on My Left Foot. And never before did he cross the boundary between his own personal safety and his own personal choices and that of the safety and choices of his co-stars. So, for sure, it seems that under the right conditions, you can definitely elicit something special from method acting. But let's leave the video with those special words from Sir Laurence Olivier. My dear boy, why don't you just try acting? There are many techniques and styles that actors can go to achieve great performances. Method acting is one of the most talked about, and one of the truly great method actors of all time was Philip Seymour Hoffman. You can actually, over here, watch a little video about that amazing actor, and until we speak again, big love.